Breaking news out of New York. A Manhattan grand jury has voted to indict former President Donald Trump over alleged hush money he paid to the adult film star Stormy Daniels during his 2016 presidential campaign. Let's bring in our US correspondent, James Matthews, joining us now from DC. So, James, good to have you with us. We expected this was coming. Donald Trump told us as much, but now the news is out that the grand jury voted to indict.
That's right, Kamali. Yeah, voted to indict in relation to that hush money payment, as you say. Hush money isn't a crime in itself, but the crime was, or the crime the prosecutors have been looking at, was the falsification of records in the Trump organization. Basically, Donald Trump, although he denies it, is said to have had an affair with a porn star, Stormy Daniels, in 2006. Just days before the 2016 election, which he won, he was concerned that she was going to go public with that story. He asked his fixer, his former lawyer, Michael Cohen, to pay Stormy Daniels $130,000, which he duly did. And it was in the repayment to Cohen for that hush money. That's the crime that the prosecutors are looking at. They reckon that that was put through the books as something else. He is facing a sealed indictment. What we will find out when that is unsealed is the extent to which that impacts on the laws of campaign finance, because therein will lie the felony. Upgrading a misdemeanor to a felony upgrades the crime. It upgrades the potential punishment from a maximum of 1 year in jail to 4 years in jail. Now, this is historic, and it will be quite the spectacle should a former president, a possible future president, turns up in a courthouse in lower Manhattan to face criminal charges. It's never happened in this country's history. It will be quite the spectacle. Much will need to be worked out in terms of security and logistics. But to all intents and purposes, the Trump camp say they're quite happy for him to appear much as any common criminal does in that building in New York's Bowery, to be fingerprinted, to have his mugshot taken. Indeed, they see a positive political impact in this. Trump himself, you'll remember, he was the man that 10 or so days ago put on his social media site, he was the man that said he was going to be arrested. On the back of that, he raised more than $1.5 million in funds. It stirs the Trump base for him to be portrayed as the victim, and that's how he clearly intends to play this, as a political witch hunt, as a weaponization of the justice system. Don't forget, Kamali, this is not the only aspect of legal jeopardy that he is facing. Indeed, this indictment will be the least of his worries, possibly, when you look at the other potential charges. There are investigations into alleged attempts to overturn the outcome of the 2020 election in the state of Georgia, an investigation into his role in the January the 6th insurrection, also investigations into the mishandling of classified documents at his home in Mar-a-Lago in Florida. So he's a man who, you know, is carrying a lot of legal freight behind him, and it opens up this discussion into how somebody in that position can proceed towards a presidential campaign. But it's remarkable. It is historic. Remarkably, you have serious media organisation writing, broadcasting serious articles about the practicalities of somebody running for president, becoming president, if they have a conviction, if, for example, they are in prison. Absolutely unprecedented, but that's where we are with Donald Trump and the circumstances in which he finds himself, the circumstances that he finds himself staring down the barrel of what is a serious criminal charge that will seriously hamper him in terms of his future ambitions.